Hello, here's a question from writing a quadratic equation to model a problem. The main cable of a suspension bridge forms a parabola described by the equation y equals a times x minus 50 squared plus 6. And the question is, what is the value of a? So, what is the value of a? And I see that a is right there. So if you look at this equation, you'll notice, ooh, there are a lot of variables. So we see a variable x right here, and we also see a variable y. And then they're giving us a graph of a parabola. So our ultimate goal is to isolate a, because that's the question they're asking, what is the value of a, which means we don't really want variable x in here, and we don't want variable y in here, because all we want is a. So you'll notice on this parabola, we actually have 3 points. And you'll recall that the first number of each point is an x value, and the second number is the y value. So what we can do here is choose any of these 3 points that's provided on the graph and substitute them into this equation. Then we'll replace one of these pink x coordinates into x and one of these green y coordinates into y. Then you'll notice that the only variable we have is variable a. Then we're going to solve for a. Then you will be able to obtain an answer. So out of these 3, you get to choose one. So I'm looking at these 3 points, and personally, I just want to choose one without a decimal. That's my personal preference. If there is a point that you wanted to use, you can try out that one. I'm going to try out this one. Although I chose this one, unfortunately, this one isn't going to work. And you might wonder, why, Miss O? You just said you can choose any of these 3 points. I'm going to show you exactly why. So let me substitute this in. So first, let me just tell you, this one doesn't work. I'm going to show you why. So let me show you the steps right here. So I am going to replace, so the equation is y is equal to a x minus 50 squared plus 6. So I'm going to replace 6 into y equals, I don't know my a, that's what I want, a. And then I have x is 50 minus 50 squared plus 6. So far you might think, Miss O, this is working fine. Why doesn't this one work? So right here, we're going to do 50 minus 50, which is 0. 0 squared is 0. So what we have here is 6 equals a times 0 plus 6. So now what happens if we do a times 0? Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So what we have is 6 equals 0 plus 6. Whoa, Miss O, the a that we wanted disappeared. Exactly. The variable, the whole reason why we're doing this right now is so that we can solve for this variable a. However, because it was multiplied by a 0, it vanished. So this is still a true statement, 6 equals 6. It's still true. because we are technically allowed to use any point on this parabola. However, for the purpose of this question, we wanted A. A is gone. So we actually didn't really want to choose the middle one. But the only way for us to know this is by solving it out. So now that we know that the middle one doesn't work, we get to choose between the point on the left or the point on the right. I'm just going to go with the point on the right. But it's really up to you which one you wanted to try out. Alrighty, so I am going to solve out. Scroll down a little bit. So, let's see. Just use this red arrow here. Here are my steps. So I have y is equal to ax minus 50 squared plus 6. I am going to substitute 7.92 into the y value equals a, which we don't know yet. My x is 70 minus 50 squared plus 6. And I'm going to do my calculations now. So I have 7.92 is equal to a. This time you'll notice it doesn't turn into 0. 70 minus 50 is 20 squared plus 6. And from here, we have 7.92. 20 squared is 20 times 20, that's 400. Plus 6. Right here, we have a variable and we have a coefficient. Usually our coefficient goes in the front, so I'm going to just reorganize this and just write 400a plus 6. So we're at a good place. If you look at our equation, oh, the purple doesn't look good with the red. If you look at this equation right now, our goal is to solve for a, so we're going to isolate a. So here I'm going to subtract 6 to both sides. 1.92 is equal to 400a. You'll notice that the 400 and a, they're connected by a multiplication. So I'm going to divide 400 to both sides. Okay. And then I have 1.92 divided by 400 is equal to a. This could be an answer choice. I don't see the drop-down menu for a right now, but let's just simplify it all the way. So if you grab a calculator, I got 0.0048 as the answer for a. And there you go. If you had done the other point, it would have been exactly the same. So the reason, just to explain, is this point, instead, the only difference is instead of 70, it would have been 30 right here. If you plugged 30 in here, 30 minus 50 is negative 20. Negative 20 squared is still 400. Ooh. So if you want to, try it out, you can try this point. It would end up exactly the same as the steps we have on the right side.